Señores y señoras, solamente hablamos español todos los días.
Sí.
Escopetas, escopetas, todos escopetas en el cine. ¿Sí o no? Así,
está bueno.
So, hey, shotgun, escopetas. I think that's how
There
you
you
say
go.
it.
Oh,
It is.
Let's
Yeah.
talk shotguns.
yeah,
And
man.
the Def Leppard, don't shoot shotgun.
I saw them this past week.
Very nice.
I saw the stadium tour. Yeah. Oh, yeah. The Motley Crue. Dude.
Motley Crue. That must have been awesome, man.
Yeah. They look their age. But considering they've been, like seriously getting after it for the last 4 decades,
Dude,
they look like $1 million then.
Go read their book, man. You want to talk about them in the heydays? Holy crap, man. I mean,
God.
golly, some of I can't even remember. Just you reading that book, man, and just everything they were into doing, and you're like, how are you guys still alive?
So, I could do a solid 6 months. Solid 6 months doing that, maybe.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Well, maybe when you were younger. Like, are we talking about the Desert Storm era?
Oh, dude.
Mark Kelly, you can go like 7 or 8 months.
Dude, you could run.
Easy.
Yeah, you could run forever.
Yeah.
They were saying that a year on the road with Def Leppard in the 1980s was like the unit selection. It was almost the same type of endurance you had to have.
Dude,
I think that's what I heard.
It's a totally separate endurance, man. I mean, you're running your body at a drunken state, at a dehydrated level, sleep deprived. Yeah.
I mean,
Rick and I, we spent a month one night in Fayetteville.
Torching the place down.
Several times.
God bless, man.
Now, I didn't want to say it, but can you imagine doing that with one arm?
Oh, dude.
Can you imagine?
No. Dude, I struggle doing things with all my faculties semi-where, you know what I'm saying?
But that's determination.
They sounded really good. Yeah. That's passion and drive right there, man.
Yeah.
They're winners. If you're still doing it after 4 decades, you're a winner.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's the thing, is being able to sound, legit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Axl Rose. I mean, sometimes he sounds good. Sometimes you're like, wow, who's this dude?
Yeah.
No, dude. Axl, no way. When I first saw them, it was 100% you're made by the studio. He sounded horrible. And I don't know that I've ever heard him since sound as good as, if you want to say a studio cut. Now, I get it. You're going to have a little bit of differences. But, man, like you use Metallica as a prime example. Dude, those guys rock in concert, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's no soundboard gizmos. I mean, they're trying to do everything they can for poor Axl just to make him sound good. So,
yeah, there's a lot of bands out there that are still, musically. I mean, they're all good. Let's face it. If your songs suck and you can't write songs, you're not going to be that successful for that long. But so there's bands out there that are still getting after it and still sound really good. Journey's one of them. I don't know if you've ever seen him in concert. They're unbelievable.
Well, with the new, I did see him with the new singer. Talk about incredible, man.
Yeah, they sound great. Yeah.
Holy.
But yeah, dude, they get after it, man. God dang.
I love shotguns.
Impressive.
I know we can talk 80s and 90s music all day long, and we probably will later on. But shotguns, man.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm writing a couple articles on it coming up here. I'm like looking around at all these YouTube videos, these YouTube heroes, and they're like, shotgun's worthless. It's not good for anything. Home defense, blah, blah, blah. Nah, I love my shotguns.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So the guy that says it's worthless, here's my question to you. If all you have is a single shot, is that thing worthless?
No.
That's all you got.
Right.
It's like, come on, man. To me, yes, you can sit there and go, it's a very versatile tool. And I think that's the thing that people forget. The versatility in the shotgun. However, what people don't understand, they don't understand their shotguns.
Yeah.
So you mention a simple thing like you run a shotgun class or something. You go, hey, man, how does your shotgun pattern? And they're like, what? And I'm like, dude, you don't know how your shotgun patterns. Because no two shotguns are the same. At least that's what I've found. It's just one of those fluke deals. Let's be an honest broker. Uh, not looking at a rifle barrel, but if you're just looking at standard smooth bore rifle or a smooth bore shotgun barrel, dude, pellets are going to go out different ways. Different loads are going to patent different ways. Do you have the ability to chain chokes in there? I mean, there's so much things when you're talking about a shotgun. And at the end of the day, my personal belief is you've got to put the work in to kind of know it. And if you don't, then you just kind of out there flapping. So
yeah.
But we jump on the ARs, we jump on pistols. Here, let me show you something. I built this, and not everybody can afford this. This is a 300 Blackout. Is that with a suppressor? Is that perfect for home defense? It could be. But who the hell has the time, energy, and efficiency and money to build something like that, put it together, train with it, etc., and understand all the parts? A lot of people grew up, the shotgun was it. Their daddy handed them down a shotgun. Their grandmother had the shotgun. But then when you brought that up, it's like you have to understand the shotgun just as much as you understand the AR.
Yeah. 100%. But think about it. You look at this day and age, not all states are gun friendly, especially when it comes to an AR platform. I don't know of a single state, and I could be wrong, that has some type of shotgun restriction. I don't even think it's mentioned. So in essence, if you want to sit there and trick out your shotgun, dude, you can. I mean, and Mike kind of brought up the question there, best 3-gun shotgun. Dude, it kind of boils, that's a broad question because you got to look at, hey, what division you're running in? What do you need? To me, hey, the best shotgun's the one you got. But at the end of the day, it is probably the one firearm that you can go to all 50 states and it's not going to have some type of restriction on there. So again, think about it. If you're traveling cross country and I've got to have one single tool to take with me, man, it's kind of a no-brainer. So just throwing it out there, I think it's overlooked as far as its versatility. It's overlooked as far as its capability. And then people don't really understand. They think of it because it says shotgun, that it's this close defense bird hunting deal. Yeah, okay. But man, put some slugs in there. You don't think you can reach out with some slugs? 100% you can.
Think about that though for a second. How versatile that gun is. You can hunt all kinds of fowl. You can hunt, all kinds of deer, all kinds of animals, and you can defend yourself just by simply changing loads. Maybe changing some chokes out and stuff like that. But I mean, that is a huge, huge benefit to a shotgun. You can do a lot of things with it. And most people, like Jason said, if they're going to have anything passed down, it's going to be something like a shotgun. And even if it's like a pump shotgun, you can train with that and be very efficient with it and use it for multiple things.
But here's the argument, Mark, right? Let's look at shotguns, right? So a pump shotgun. When you look at shotguns, right? So you want to do some comparison, and we'll just basically look at the pump and the semi-auto. Some semi-autos don't like to feed certain rounds.
Yeah.
Pumps, you can feed whatever you want to that bad boy.
Yeah. Great
barring
point.
you don't short stroke it or something like that. But again, you've got to put the time in working with it. But I mean, I know my Remington 1187, it's a Versamax, man. It's not super happy with light loads.
Yeah.
So it's like, all right.
Well, that's one thing I'd say is like, you have a shotgun, you have a semi, you have a pump, you have a double barrel, you have a single barrel. You have to train with it. And that's what, I've had this semi-auto Mossberg JM 930 tactical for years because I was going to do the 3-gun back in the day. And now I'm actually going to look at doing that. But I've been so adept to shooting the Remington 870 or the Mossberg 500 for, decades, that when I started rolling with the semi-auto, I was like, okay, I got to hit the slide release, putting a single Brown in there and moving with it. And the thing's huge. It's got like 9-10 rounds in there. And it's different. And I'm not used to training with it. But then I want to have to backtrack and say, with the shotgun itself, the 870s or the the Mossberg 500s. I'm not used to training with that. With law enforcement, we have to pretty much fam fire once a year, and I've been doing that for 20 something years. I'm more used to training pistol and AR. So when I jump onto the shotgun platform, I'm like, I better start training with this sucker because I love it.
Yeah. The biggest thing, if you're going to do 3-gun with your shotgun, I won't say you have to, but it's highly recommended that you can quad reload. So in essence, you can have 4 shells in your hand and you can shuck them things in there very quickly and efficiently without going, oh, there's 1, 3 fly out. And it's like, all right. But again, you've got to have the setup for it. So if you think about, it was funny the other day, I'm out cruising around and I see old Johnny Law out there, and he's got his little shotgun holder on his belt. I think he had like 5 or 6 rounds in there, And it's like, that's cool, but you're not really going to get a quad load out of that because it's not set up for it. So that's the biggest thing, is just you've got to put the time and effort into practicing with it, and you've got to get dummy rounds, and that's the way you get good. Is just practicing those loads and what works best for you. There's a bunch of different ways to skin that cat. Some people are, they'll do it with their left and flip it over and they can shuck them in that way. Some people are with they're using it with their right and doing it. I mean, you've got to figure out, I think as one of the NBA players once said, you got to be amphibious. You got to be able to do it with your right hand or your left hand,
Amphibious. You know what? Talking about right and left-handed. So with the AR, I could easily, you're going up to the corner, I could switch my rifle around. Same thing with the pistol. So I did one of those action shooting things about a month ago. Was it probably about a month ago? When that's the first time I've used my good old-fashioned 870 in a competition setting. And I had to shoot around a corner with my left hand, and I'm right-handed. And I was like, this is interesting. I've never done this before. And I was using target loads. And now I'm thinking, I need to get out there and run some, double aught, some slugs, some everything from not just my right hand, but my left hand as well.
Yeah.
So I can
it all boils down to manipulation, just like anything else. It's not secondary to marksmanship at all. I mean, you have to learn and train with it. But let's talk about the 2 different type of semi-autos as well. You got the recoil action, and then you have the gas action. And I think the ones that we most talk about with the affected by the type of round that you select is the gas operated. Now you can run into some problems with the recoil operated, shooting from the hip might not work all that great. Shooting around a corner, like Jason was just saying, might not work all that great. If you don't have that good, shoulder mount, sometimes it won't work as well, especially if you're just not real strong in the upper body and you're just, normal fitness, but just not a big person or super strong or whatever. You can have some issues, or laying down. You could have some issues as well. So you got to choose carefully, and you got to train with it.
Yeah. And it's, you bring up a great point, Mark. A lot of people are going all about, I got to get me a 12 gauge, right? Or if you're going to be a man's man, I'm getting me a 10 gauge. Dude, there's not, dude, you don't want to shoot that beast. It is brutal. No. But what's wrong with the 20 gauge, man? To me, nothing. And because I remember, with the kids and stuff, we'll put them on a 410, right? You want to get them introduced to the shotgun, run them 410s, and you would have people argue. So let's look at my kids. He had like a little Rossi combo, right? So it's single barrel, 410 shotgun barrel, but then we got, a 22. If that was all we had, let's say that was it, you don't think we could do some business with it?
Oh, yeah.
100% you could. But again, you just got to put the effort in and know what you're shooting. I don't necessarily want to launch that 410 birdshot out of there. But, dude, put me a 410 slug in there. That's right. 41 caliber coming at you. Boom. Watch out, Dirty Harry. I'm 3 away.
You're 3 away. Yeah. Hey, let's talk about when you were in the special forces, special operations forces. Yep. When it comes down to breaching and stuff, that's one thing I don't know anything about. Let's talk about those types of shotguns and the rounds and, what you're carrying there. And obviously you were probably not the breacher type guy, but let's talk about that.
100% I was. Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah. What was I thinking? Mark, come
Come on, man.
What's that?
I'm out there rolling with my little 870 shorty, man.
Yeah,
Cut
that's what
down
we had
to
too. Yeah.
yeah. So it was pretty much man, old boy had to be about yay big, right? So you got a pistol grip. That's all you got. No stock on it, and it's cut. I mean, that barrel length was short as anything. So in essence, it held. If I recollect correctly, it was 3 in the magazine tube. It was cut down that short, and then you just never ran around with. You could have a husk in the chamber, but never put a live round because too many dramas, too many guys in the past had AD'd their shotguns with catastrophic results. So we're basically running a Hatton breaching round, which is basically a compressed.
I think it was porcelain, wasn't it? Porcelain,
porcelain lead type combo, but
yeah.
I forget what's all in there. But long story short, it's basically a slug going out. But as soon as it makes contact, it's pulverizing, so you're not throwing either buckshot or birdshot or whatever into the room. So the door jamb basically eats all that stuff up. Now, in a pinch, could you do it with something else? Yeah, you could. But then you're just looking at what's your collateral. Where are those extra pellets and stuff going? You know, no one knows. So that was the beauty with the hat and how that whole thing came about. It just minimized the collateral that was potentially going into that room. And dude, it's super effective. Be careful watching some of your Hollywood movies. I think old Jack Carr put out his post today. You know, Navy SEALs was released today in 1990, I think, if I recollect correctly. Hinges aren't the way to go, man.
No,
you know,
no.
So the old, he says some of that Hollywood, let me go blast the hinge, and they shoot up there, and it's like, boom, big, huge explosion.
Yeah.
Like, nah, dude.
Yeah. If you know where to hit on a lock, a lot of times that door will just slide right open, nice and easy. Yeah. It's amazing.
And then typically you've got a guy standing by with a banger, you know, because you lose a little bit having a breach, depending on how many locking mechanisms you have on there. Deal with the problem, bang it in there, and boom. Because then the bad thing with being the breacher is then you're out of the fight, because I got to roll out the way. I got to go stow that shotgun, get my rifle. By the time I get in there, man, everything's all done. You're like, great, I got to breach the door. You know, might as well put down the welcome mat for you guys.
The biggest mistake I ever made was one shot open the first time. Then you've got to do it every time. Then after that, yeah. So.
Or you sit there and boom, you go to rack, and next thing you know, because you think it's going to take 2, and then it freaking pops open, and you're not, because there's got to be a slight delay. Because if you need that second one, now you've already racked it. Now you've got to kind of get your shotgun back to where it needs to be.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of work, but it's a great tool. And again, it's underlooked and still used today. Oh my God, we're still using shotguns today? Yes, we are.
Oh hell yeah, yeah.
So
it was cool. It had that little cleat, little cleat on the muzzle flasher, and just slam it right in there and sticks right on the door and doesn't move. Boom.
We didn't have no cleat. Yeah. That's an impaling object. I don't want to be roping down. Next, I have my cleat in my leg going, baby Jesus. Baby Jesus.
Oh, man. I'm just thinking about,
yeah.
Shotguns, man. The other thing I like about them is in a law enforcement capacity. I'm not going to say every police officer can shoot an AR-15. Because the mechanics of it, and I'm just saying, listen, it's just like the military, the lowest common denominator. It's just like anything in life, the lowest common denominator. The pump action shotgun is pretty self-explanatory, pretty you could load around in there, and you could load buckshot, you could load slugs, you could load the round for the situation. And 8 or 9 32 caliber pellets heading towards someone is going to be pretty damn effective.
Yeah.
Well, I'll agree with you. Mark, I'm going to let you put your comment, and then I'm going to put mine in.
Yeah, that I was going to say, you still have to put them on target. I've seen people completely, miss and all that other stuff. But you are right. If you hit them with half of that load, it's going to be devastating at certain ranges. But if you don't know your spread, then you get beyond a certain distance and you're just not confident, you don't know those things, there's a good possibility you are going to miss with the majority of those pellets. So you got to train with them. Go ahead, Rick. Sorry about that, buddy.
No, you're good, man. I was just saying, when we start looking at the law enforcement community, you got to think, now the shotgun opens up and this is where, at least for me, Jason, and again, I am not an LEO by trade for anyone listening, but it's just my observations. The thing with the shotgun, in my opinion, from the LEO world, is it's a very versatile tool. Okay, so it's set up where it can be, yes, lethal, but it can also be non-lethal. Yeah. And there's been issues because, granted, depending on on departments and stuff like that, sometimes they've got orange stock, stuff like that. But a shotgun, just use a regular shotgun, will fire whatever shotgun munitions it has, whether it's lethal or non-lethal. It doesn't know. Mm-hmm. It's up to that person holding the shotgun going, hey, man, you got non-lethal in there? And it's happened where guys have thought they were shooting non-lethal and they have lethal rounds in there and kill guys. So it's to me, I understand what you're saying. You can get people to run it, sure. But to me, there's a lot higher learning curve with the shotgun in the aspect of when I grab an AR, I know that's a deadly force tool. If I'm the guy tasked to go grab the shotgun in a non-lethal load capacity, you better hope that his stuff's straight. So
I absolutely correct, 100%, and it all comes down to training and familiarity and having your wits about you, just awareness. Because I can tell you right now, we have personal experience where someone that I know had that very same deal. Luckily, nobody was hurt. Luckily, So,
but it's one of those point. You've got to you got to have a good SOP. Where is my non-lethal? Where are my lethal rounds? How am I carrying it? And you've got to know 100% what am I putting in there. It all visibility. You can't sit there and go, hey man, it's 3:00 in the morning. Hey, bring up the non-lethal. Boom.
Yeah.
I just launched a slugging, old boy. Oops, my bad.
Well,
I thought
this brings us down to something we talk about, I think, every episode is training. Mm-hmm. That 5 rounds we have to get on target every year as a Fed, it's not effective.
No.
And we don't use non-lethal. I mean, some agencies, I'm sure they do. My agency doesn't. And if you're a police, how much training are they doing, 1, with the non-lethal and 2 with the lethal? Mm-hmm. Is it like a FAM? Is it like, once a year? Is it you just have to qualify with it once and then it gets stuck in a trunk and you just kind of have it there? It all comes down to training. And that comes down to the civilian market as well. The civilian world, not just a market, because I know we all like to train, but it comes down to training. And that comes down to dry firing. That comes down to just a basic understanding of the actions. The safety on a Mossberg 500, I could use my thumb up top. Mm-hmm. The safety on a Remington 870 is down by the trigger well. The slide releases are different.
Yep.
Shotguns are all different. A double barrel opens up differently than some single barrels. There's so many different things. So whatever that weapon system you're going to use, whatever that firearm you're going to use, understand it and dry fire. Just dry fire.
Yeah.
And make sure you don't have any ammo next to you, because it's not a good thing.
No.
Yeah, in some of these smaller departments, you don't have. I'm sorry, buddy. I just wanted to point out what Jason was saying about the different types of guns and different manufacturers operate differently. They're going to take whatever they can get, and I don't blame them. But again, you have to train. You might be pushing on the side of that trigger guard all day. Oops, it's on my thumb on top of the right at the end of the stock. You know what I'm saying? So again, these guys are going to take whatever they can get, especially if it's in good shape or brand new or a demo gun that they got from a manufacturer. But you got to train with it because you could run into something like that. It gets you killed. Absolutely.
100%. Yeah, 100% it will. Especially like you said, if you're running mixed breeds across the department.
Right.
What do I got? Yep. And especially if they're pass me off guns, right? So if they're going, hey man, you're just getting off a shift and hey, here's what you got. Well, I've always used to run in the 870. What, now you give me, what's this Mossberg thing, So no, 100%. But
or he doesn't check it, because he figured the guy just had it and he doesn't realize that it's a different model. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It could be that simple and that quickly go south on you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then one other point too, from the LE side, you got to think you've got gas capable with your shotguns as well. So how are you stowing? And I've seen dramas before.
Oh yeah.
Where people are getting
twice.
Where people are getting
not me personally, but I was there.
Yeah. But they're getting smoked out of their own wagon, right? Because hey, they got the shotgun in the back. Rounds are just flapping around, and somehow something, because God knows there's nothing in that trunk, right?
Oh, God.
Something in that trunk, pops 1, 2, 3 of them CS shotgun rounds, and they get pulling over, going, man, I'm dying. It's like, dude, it all goes back to me. It's that tool that out of anything that you're going to have, you've got to have organization. You've got to go, hey, where are my gas rounds? How are they sealed? Am I keeping them in the box? Are they just rolling around? All that. Inspect them. Oh, that's a concept. How long they've been sitting in the trunk. But yeah, it's just there's so much to it, and I don't think and I don't say this to be mean or anything, but I don't think your average person is thinking about that at the shotgun. They're thinking, yeah, that's what Grandpa used to slap on the shoulder to go bird hunting.
Right.
Man, you've got some options with that bad boy.
Yeah.
And as much as I used to never be a proponent of this whole competition stuff until I started doing it. And Mike brought up the now I'm like, oh shit, when's the next competition? But Mike brought up the best 3-gun. And if you get into these things, let's say it's not 3-gun, let's say it's skeet, let's say it's anything where you're going to be out there and getting used to using that firearm under some sort of pressure, simulated or not, it's going to be great for you. Great experience of getting used to it and understanding the loads you're using, target loads, get out to the range, practice with buckshot, practice with slugs, but get used to using it. And I would say anybody can do these competitions. You don't have to be like a master level. I'm going in there and I'm screwing up. I mean, who cares?
But see, that's the thing, Jason, right? Go with what you have. And here's the thing. Nobody's going to laugh. Nobody's going to chuckle.
Nope.
Everyone's so worried that, hey, when you show up to a match and, okay, you pull out Grandpa's single shot, nobody's going to say anything. They might go, you might be a little slow, right? But nobody's going to sit there and bust on you. Or same thing if you come up with the pump action. Nobody's going to say anything to you. And
that one I did it. Yeah, I got to jump in here because this is one thing. Is I went to this competition a couple weeks ago. Action ACG. I don't know what the hell it's called. I'll post it sometime.
Anything that's got action in it, it just raises that excitement up a little.
Yeah. But guys were showing up with revolvers and double barrel shotguns, and it was awesome to see someone try to run courses with a double barrel and a pistol, man, and a revolver.
But like Rick said, if that's what you have and that's by your nightstand, why in the world wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? Give me a reason. Why I want to get a better time. Yeah, but you're not going to grab your competition gun if something goes bump in the night. You're going to grab Grandpa's side-by-side that's right next to your nightstand. So why wouldn't you every now and then bust that thing out and see what you can do with it?
Well, let's talk about time. Who cares? You know what? The first 10, I'm on my like 5th or 6th competition now. I'm not going to worry about time until I'm probably about 15 or 20 into this thing. And who cares about time? Just go there, have fun, understand it, do different scenarios, and just have a damn good time because that's really all it's about.
Well, I'm going to say this, Jason. I'm about having a good time, but I'm going to steal it as a training opportunity as well. Now, I know you're running the GoPro, kind of point of view camera, but I would hand somebody my phone and have them record my run. Just go, hey, what's my footwork look like? Because, you're not necessarily catching that from the GoPro, but that's what my whole purpose, and I'll date myself when I first started this thing, let's say our video equipment was this big box you have video. But you're out there running around with your big old VHS camera there. But that was the whole point, for me wanting to get into it was how do I make myself better? Yes, I want to sit there and have fun. And trust me, did I have all the Gucci gear? I had the old school nylon Eagle leg rig.
Awesome.
Did anyone say anything? Nope.
Jumpsuit on. Yeah, but I actually, and that's the other thing about people being friendly at these competitions. I only post the GoPro stuff, but you hand your phone. I have all the video. I hand someone my phone, and that's one thing I did. I noticed my foot movement. While I'm doing it, it feels like I'm going fast. But then when I looked at it, I'm like, damn, dude, what the hell is that? And that's why, yes, the people there at these friendly thing, they'll take your phone. Anybody will video for you. And I've learned a lot off of those videos so far.
Yeah. And then, go ahead, Mark.
buddy.
All right, I'll go. I guess.
You know, you guys have
I
been
would-
together so long that you're probably going to repeat each other's sentences soon. You're like,
Well, here's the thing. I would just say do this as well. Like, depending who you have in your squad, video somebody else as well. Like, if you notice a dude that's got good footwork, just video him, and you kind of get an idea to go, all right, hey, when he's shooting a certain way, how's he loading up to set up so he can get out of that box quickly? You know, just little tips and tricks like that you might not even be thinking about. But again, it all comes down to, yes, you're having a good time, but at the end of the day, you still want to sit there and go, how can I be as efficient and effective as I can? And setting yourself up just the way you run, you know, how you have to get in and out of a box. Does it make sense to run a target array left to right, right to left? So that now if I'm coming here, I'm already set, boom, I can go off and work things that way. So yeah.
I just started doing short movements. Like on my rucks, I'll do a little quick jogs and stuff here and there. Like when I'm out with the dogs, I'll be running from tree to tree. Stupid shit, but it's just getting used to understanding it.
Well, it's that quick little burst, but really what you want to set up is as soon as that plant foot hits, how can I get set up? It doesn't matter where that support leg is. How am I set up to be able to break a shot? That's really the key. So when you're going, boom, I'm moving into box, whatever, man, if that right foot hits and I'm planting, that gun driving out, wherever that support leg is, sights are on, take the shot. So there's so much to it, man, when you really start digging into this thing. And like you said, you're hitting the key point is you're out for your little ruck. Cool, man. How can I train? Constantly training. What a novel concept, man.
I know.
I'm not only getting physical fitness, man, but I'm getting a little firearms training as well. They're like, where's your firearm at? It's like, dude. Yeah, okay. All good.
You know what I carry? When I'm rucking, I usually carry my full size Geissele AR-15. I carry my Walther PDP.
Nice.
And I carry a bayonet for my Walther, and I also carry the shotgun, a tourniquet, 7 tourniquets. No, I'm just kidding.
I carry
that's what I mean. Yeah, I carry me. Hey, yeah, Rick's. I carry me. That's all I need. Yeah, I think
I got these bad boys right here.
Oh hell yeah! If anybody saw that post I had tonight, you have to watch that Chuck Norris little clip I had with the Chuck Norris shotgun thing I just put up. He's got the one-handed semi-auto shotgun, and he's like,
oh hell yeah!
Shit down. This is after he was like, injured, and he's coming back. He's got his 44 Magnum, or it's 357. He's got his one-handed shotgun. Chuck Norris, man.
Oh God, dude.
Hey,
one thing I wanted to mention about the shotgun, just before we move on to something else, if you want to get your kids involved in shooting sports or just learning how to handle a shotgun, these youth league skeet competitions, you talk about well managed. There's a lot of competitions. It's sponsored by a lot of different people. You can go out there. You can use a club gun, and they're usually pretty good. And these kids are freaking dead eyes, bro. I mean, they are burning them clay pigeons down like they're nothing. And they're having a blast. And it's a bunch of kids out there. And there's always someone who's the first time they've ever handled a shotgun or even a gun in general for that matter. And, man, they just have a blast. And the confidence level just goes up and then they want to keep coming back. That's a way to do it. Yeah. And a lot of times they'll have, introduction days where they bring new kids out. And there's some really good shots out there.
Yeah, and on that, Mark, I'll get to the street sweeper here in a second, but on that, on that, Mark, though, excuse me, like I said, that Rossi 22 410 combo, man, that thing was the bomb. So I would highly recommend, hey, if you've got a young'un that you're looking to get into it, it gives you the versatility. And the thing is, you can get all kinds of different barrels for that thing. But the nice thing was the stock was nice and short for the kids. So as a first little shotgun, boom, they got that. But then, boom, you also got, a 22 in there. So it gives them that versatility across the board. But start them young, man. Get them introduced to it. And
those clubs, man, they focus on the safety aspect because there's safety violations and all that stuff. It's just it's a great program, and they're all over the place, and the kids just love them. Yeah.
Now we got to hear about the street sweeper.
Dude, you don't remember the street sweeper?
Yeah, is that the? It's almost like a revolver one, right?
No. So you had the Judge, which was a revolver that took
Yeah.
The 410 rounds. But the street
No, I'm
sweeper
talking
was
about
that. It was
yeah,
about
the
yay.
shotgun.
The black one had the folding stock drum magazine.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
that-
The drum magazine.
Yeah, that the federal government thought was some
Yeah.
weapon of mass destruction, and that I couldn't have one. So I think you can still. I think they're still legal if I recollect correctly. But it's funny because this day and age, you're seeing, dude. You want to talk about some semi-auto shotguns? Let's talk about having a semi-auto shotgun that's got like a 20-round magazine,
Mhm.
and they're not even doing, trying to load into the mag well. It's like just straight swapping magazines. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
so
Yep.
you've seen kind of an evolution in shotguns. So back to Mike's question, the best 3-gun, dude, it kind of boils down to how deep are your pockets?
Yeah.
Because if you want to get something Gucci, it's going to
Yeah.
cost
Not
you some
everybody's
money.
like Dr. Jason Piccolo.
No, listen, I got that JM. I got that
Mhm.
JM Pro Tactical or whatever it was, probably about 5 years ago.
Mhm.
And this is when they first came out with it, and it was kind of like, you know what? It was $630 for a semi-auto, and it was good to go. It's still good to
Mhm.
go. I just I swapped out the stock because I like the pistol grip stock.
Mhm.
I added a side saddle on it, and I'm gonna get the slide release. I'm gonna put a lever on it rather than just a push button.
Mhm.
But other than
Well,
that,
so
I mean, hey,
how's the lifter? How's the lifter on it?
it's not
Because
bad. I'm not getting chopped up. I
Okay.
mean, load was great, and that's the
Okay.
thing about these the JM Tacticals. It's Jerry Mikulik.
Yep.
They actually make them a little bit better than their normal semi-auto. So I mean, it's not
What-
bad.
Yeah, and I mean, you're starting to see some of these manufacturers actually produce, if you want to say 3-gun ready, for lack of better terms,
Yeah.
shotguns, which is nice. So you're not having to dump a whole bunch of money into it. But to me, probably the biggest thing is just looking at whatever shotgun you have. You probably need to look at getting a new lifter for it. And for those of you that aren't familiar with what the lifter is, basically, excuse me, it's that for the most part, it's usually a stainless piece that where you're loading your magazines in through the tube, which now when it releases from the magazine tube, it goes onto there and lifts up into the chamber. But for whatever reason, the design was it had a U-shaped in there. So again, a lot of times when your thumb was going in there, depending on your thumb size, that you would want to sit there and bite your thumbnail. And guys figured out, hey man, if we make this thing one solid piece, you're not getting bit, and just, boom, easy to quad load and off you go, versus sitting there with your thumb stuck going, man, it's caught my shotgun, give me a second here. You just burn time. So
Yeah.
Let's jump in. Anybody out there that's listening, if you have any questions or comments, just drop them in the comment section. We'll answer them. But yeah, I'm digging the shotgun, man. I'm looking for
Yeah.
more training. And why
there's not a
not
whole
a
bunch
lot.
out there.
No, there's not at all.
But the cool thing, new shotgun training, there's so much versatility to it. I mean, I've gone out there and it's like, hey guys, check it out. Towards the end of the day, we got the hand thrower and we're busting pigeons,
Yeah,
right? Because that puts a whole nother dynamic into tracking targets. So people can sit there and go, all right, is it gonna work, not work? But it just adds some versatility. Now you're actually tracking targets in there. And oh, by the way, people have fun. So, or you just sit there and put clay pigeons up on the burn, man. Let them go burn that stuff down. But it's easy because if you're trying to pattern, yes, you've got to have paper and you've got to do it at certain distances. But then after that, man, you can pretty much run all steel and just have a shindig of a time. So all depends what the range has, versatility, and then just knowing.
Yeah.
I think the key thing at the end of the day is knowing what's the capability of that shotgun. And then if it is something where you've got chokes you can swap out, are you actually swapping them out? So
I got to get away from the city. I'm right outside of DC in Virginia. I need to have some land so I can just go throw some like old washers and dryers out there that piss me off, and TVs, and shoot the shit out of them with a shotgun. That's what I want. That's all. That's what I want in life.
here's let me help you out. You don't need to put your rubbish out there, right? Let's be environmentally friendly. What I'd recommend is that you get you some Grizzly Steel. You can use code Warhog10, save you 10%.
Oh, Grizzly Steel. What am I thinking?
Dude, and just listen
You
to
just
that
leave it
stuff.
out there. Yeah.
Ring.
I better
Yeah.
get that
Yeah.
warhog.com up there. There it is.
See?
Boy, head over there and use what's the code for Grizzly Steel?
Warhog10.
I think
Save
Warhog blank blank is the is where it's
No,
at.
because we got OTR. You know,
Oh,
here's your best bet is just go to warhog.com
Yeah.
industry
Yeah.
partners page, or you can go to kellydefense.com.
Yeah.
Hit the industry partners page, and you will save. Listen to me, a boatload. That's right, a boatload.
A
Titanic's
metric
worth.
boatload.
Of cash.
Titanic's worth of cash. That then
That's
you
where
can
it's
use-
at, man.
Yeah, that then you can
Yeah.
use to go, spend more money at somebody else.
I'm gonna start
Save-
using that. A Titanic's load worth of cash. That's gonna be my
Dude,
new
oh,
thing.
yeah.
That's a boatload.
Who's coming up on the Honor Age podcast?
Right now,
You
we
guys
got a
gonna be
couple in the
rapping? What are you
hopper.
guys rapping?
Yeah, we got a couple. It's just it's like anything else. It's trying to get people iron. Oh, Mark, just give me the finger. What you got?
We got a pretty exciting episode, Rick. You want to tell them about it? It's going to be a series of episodes, probably one.
Oh.
And
Yeah.
I think everybody's going to enjoy this. Go ahead, buddy.
Yeah. So we're gonna start dabbling, excuse me, into. Granted, not in the blood, but Jack Carr.
Oh, yeah.
Our good friend Jack Carr.
Yeah, buddy. So we're gonna start doing a terminal lists podcast. So what we're looking to do is to break down James Reese, his workbench in the
That's
garage.
going to be the first one. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Break that down.
Yeah,
Talk
as much
about
as
that
you
stuff.
as much as we can kind of pull from the pictures and stuff like that. We might have to hit Jack up because we're going to get him back on and just go, hey man, because let's be an honest broker. Any of the books on there, it's got something that's his derivative,
Mhm.
and just do some comparisons. So I'll let one little cat out of the bag. So for example, the Vickers series, I don't have them. They're not out of my workbench, right? Because if they're out there, they're probably going to have fingerprints and
Mhm.
grease and oil and everything else on there. So personally, I wouldn't have them out there. James Reese wanted to have them out there. Not the place I'm probably looking at them, but yeah. So we're just going to break that down a little bit. So that'll be I think that'll be a good one. So
Yeah.
see if we can't take a sneak peek into his safe there. Probably, we might chew on that one. But we got a bunch of things, but we're going to dabble into that. And if guys haven't seen the terminal list,
Oh, boy.
man, you're missing out.
Definitely. And as you know, I got in a little hot water with Jack's publicist because I saw a tweet come out by Chris Pratt that morning saying, hey, I'm doing a terminal list.
Mhm.
So I hit up Jack. I'm like, hey, can you do a quick interview? So I remember I walked down onto the National Mall and Skyped him for like 5 minutes, and I'm like, Jack, you just won the Super Bowl. Your book's coming to the screen. So that was the first interview with him when he found out that they're making it and it's actually with the green
Awesome.
light. So I was like, yeah, this is awesome. But I highly recommend everybody, check
Oh,
it out.
man.
Yeah. So it's funny when we had him on the show, the Devil's Hand was coming out, and it was supposed to be talking about that. Jack didn't care. He was pumped about the terminal list, and I'm sitting there going, "All right, that's cool." And because here's the thing, I'm not a super big fan of the Hollywood things, right? I'm not just the drama behind all that crap. But now I know why he was excited. And
Oh, dude.
to get a little more detail, I think they had just gotten done shooting the tunnel scene, and I'm really not letting any cats out of the bag.
Nah.
So he had been running all night, so he was running on empty when we had our interview with him. So, but yeah, we're gonna get him back on. And here's the thing, man, we're probably gonna talk Magnum PI.
I love Magnum PI.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
we're gonna.
He's a
we're gonna
huge
dig in.
Magnum PI fan.
Yep. So I thought, here's my. I try to pull his recollection. I thought for the terminal lists, Have You Seen the Sunrise was the Magnum PI. 'Cause he makes a note that each one he's got some type of Magnum PI reference in there. I was like, did you see the sunrise? He's like, No, it's not. Come on, man.
And
I'm like, all right. So,
that's one thing I like about it too, is like a lot of the First Blood references in there as well. You know, it's pretty cool, man.
Yeah.
Well, everybody, I appreciate everybody joining us tonight. Oh, and I have my new podcast, Becoming the Protagonist, on.
Yes. Yes.
So you all are welcome to come on to that one, and that's going to be a little more different centric.
Yeah. So
It's,
why don't you tell the viewers, listeners a little more about it, Jason?
What is the protagonist? It's the hero of the story. You are the protagonist, and basically, it's just a new podcast, and it's going to be a little bit more about improving yourself, physicality, shooting, everything. But it's not really going to be law enforcement or military centric. Anybody can watch it, civilians alike. Anybody. It's going to be more about just becoming the protagonist of your story, of your life. Get motivated.
So what you're saying is, if you just get 1% better each day at whatever you're looking to do,
you will become the protagonist.
I am the protagonist. Well, gentlemen,
awesome.
I do appreciate you
buddy.
as usual. I'm looking forward to our next show. What do you think? We got to think about something. I do want to do a show about these. Let's take a look here. We got this SIG P320 unloaded.
Yeah.
That's why I just flagged my face with the little red dot. Got my Walther with the red dot. And then I got this good old-fashioned SIG Legion I threw a red dot on. So I want to do a little conversation about, you know, red dots, optics, all that kind of stuff.
Awesome.
Really?
And I need one of those.
You just need the aim point acro.
Actually, I really do.
And you can use code Warhog 5 and save you 5% with aim point.
Warhog 5. Warhog 5.
Yeah.
Hey, and aim
retail is for suckers.
I'd be more than welcome if aim point's watching us, listening to this or whatever. I'll take one and review it for you. Gentlemen, thanks again.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, buddy.
And everybody out there, make sure you check out On the Range podcast, Becoming the Protagonist podcast, and the Protectors podcast. Thanks.
Yeah.